Alright, hello and welcome once again everyone back to the TOUHOU Project Mania Cup 4th iteration once again. Back at you with yet another match like we've promised. This is going to be one of the few final matches of today as we make it basically halfway through the second, well technically third group stage weekend. Going to be seeing none other than C25 Mystia's Izakaya patrons going up against Team Saucisse, the seed 42. So both of them quite packed with like 4 players, basically all of them like sort of exploring like diverse ranges of like capabilities when it comes to skill sets. But as usual, I'm not alone in this cave today. Let's shine a light on Sparky, shall we? How's your day been?
It's been absolutely fantastic. Excited to see another matchup here as we continue on, like you mentioned, through this second group stage weekend. And looks like we're already going into the rolls 24 to the 86. And first protect gonna go to Mystia's Izakaya patrons to start things off here.
Oh, damn. Well, that's very interesting. Squiddy basically rolling for their team and having won the rolls, as it's going to be going to Mystia's Izakaya patrons. It seems like here they're going to be like starting off with their protect. So like I think like just based off of like the previous week's like results alone, I feel like they're going to be protecting Rice 2 right off the bat, which is going to be none other than Izakaya no Yugi. So like bit of a sensible like pick for a protect right off the bat, especially, but it's kind of like maybe a bit dangerous if you were to like account for like both the teams like respective performances on the said map, because of how relatively close the ratios are for like both the teams individually, like how their players had played it respectively.
Yeah, absolutely. So get me to see how they perform on that should they decide to go into it. Wouldn't be surprised if it was like a first pick type of situation, just ensuring that it makes it through this process. There's quite a number of maps that could get removed, so just ensuring they have like that one comfort pick to go into on the right side of the pool is definitely something to aim for. And now just waiting for Team Saucisse to throw out their protect. It'd be interesting to see what they decide to go for. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw an LN protect given some of the players on that team, but could very easily see a Rice or hybrid protect come out as well. Mainly just, I imagine the name of the game is just ensuring they can secure something for themselves that they're very comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, to be fair, I think that is, like, most likely the aim of, like, both these teams here. Like, especially with, like, how, like, both these teams are, like, formed in specific. Like, I mean, one thing I'd like to point out is that, based from, like, the teams from what I've seen, I've noticed that Squiddy, like, captain of Mystia's Izakaya patrons, has built a bit of a Trojan horse, like, to, like, sort of, launch into this tournament. Like, basically consisting of like very like well-rounded players in general that you would have seen in like a lot of high-level tournaments in general. Like Verdon being very well known for like having played in MWC and also a bunch of other tournaments, and Wonder Yonder being like an up-and-coming act as well, having along with Comical as well, who basically have played in various tournaments such as how do I say Quaver tournament, to name a few, and like many others. I don't really have like way too much information about the people in Team Saucisse to compensate for that, however.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting analysis just to see how they will stack up in comparison to their higher seeded counterparts. I mean, in these kinds of map pools, you can kind of throw the seeding out the window. Looks like Hybrid 1 was the protect after all for Team Saucisse, and the ban starting to come through. Rice 4, LN 3 just immediately shotgunned out here. I imagine that's determining like classic LN 1, since it's there is a distinct categorization difference. So I imagine Werewolf Howl's just asking for clarification, just ensuring, because it's they are labeled differently. It's not straight up LN3. Gotta make that distinction.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and confirming, yeah. So classic LN1, but
yeah.
third LN listed. So technically correct, which is, I think to some people, the best kind of correct. Yeah.
Yeah. One of these is not like the others.
Yeah.
Venues.
No. I was just gonna say is like just the clarification coming through here. Yeah. Again, just ensuring the labels are adhered to avoids confusion, because with it, a lot of the times you're just going off the ref sheet. It's like you see the label on the side and something doesn't correlate. It's like, let me make sure. Never wanna assume. As Team Saucisse back up to ban once again. And given the Rice 4 ban, I wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of another Rice pick, maybe something like one of the classic Rice 1 or 2, just to round things out, ensure that one of those can't be played. But honestly, any of them are good options at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, honestly, looking at like the just looking at like the results for like for both these teams' like previous matches, I don't think I'd be surprised if Team Saucisse here like went for banning like some of like the more like straightforward maps just based off results alone. And I think like in my opinion, maps such as maybe Rice Free could be viable to ban, because it seems that no, they tried. Oh wait, no, they banned Classic Rice too. Okay, yeah, got it. My bad.
Yeah, the dash C. Drawing a bit of ire from the red side. Maybe just not very much expecting it is what I meant to say. But right now, gonna get through the last ban here. And wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of another LN, maybe just pinch off some additional options. Classic Hybrid 1 might be an option as well, given the LN proponents in it. But honestly, mission accomplished, ensuring that Werewolf House can't be played in this match. Everything else might just be fair game at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Werewolf House being like one of those maps that's like very sort of rigid in its own right. I mean, it's like a relatively like old map as well, featured in a bunch of like older tournaments as well, such as like, I mean, this was namely featured in tournaments such as MWC 2021 semifinals as an LN pick, and also in TOUHOU Cup third from earlier, in one of the map polls. So like, it definitely makes sense to see why one of the teams would want to ban out the classic LN map, and also going to be banning out LN1. So that's going to be Necrophantasia like being taken off of the table here. And it seems that now with like the roles and the picks like being concluded, it seems that now Mystia Izakaya's patrons is going to be picking the first map to kickstart the match off here.
Yeah, without further ado, we await that first pick. I mean, given the way the bans went for them, I imagine they're probably just going to exhaust the entirety of this Rice pool. Wouldn't be surprised if we just saw the immediate Protect come out from them on their side. This being a best of 7 format, it doesn't really give you that many opportunities to venture away from what you're probably planning on going into to start a match off. So maybe right now just taking some time to deliberate, ensure that they understand what the game plan is as we eagerly await to see what that first pick. It's going to be Classic Hybrid 1 actually, so a bit of a curveball, a bit of deviation from what we were expecting here as we get things started.
This is honestly like what I was not expecting. Like, I was honestly expecting them to start off with something like Rice Free or Rice 2, but this is actually kind of like interesting actually. Just like starting it off with Classic Hybrid 1, and oh boy, what is that?
Just a little bit of a needing to shift over the playfields a little bit. They wanted to conglomerate. They were having a meeting. We interrupted them very rudely. So we'll give the playfield some time to get settled in as we get things underway. That protect ban sequence took so long. They were like, okay, we've got time.
Whoopsie days.
We'll be getting in there before too long, and it'll be interesting to see who will be stepping up to bat for this one. We saw Squiddy saying that they were leaving the lobby, so I imagine their teammates going to be coming in here to ensure that they can contest on this first pick. And you definitely want to start this match off on the right foot. Not going for the protect, maybe saving it for that second pick in this match is going to be a bit of an interesting dynamic, whether you're trying to get back a break point or hide away on the side. There we go. Perfect.
Okay,
got
there
it back
we go.
in, and
That's
it
more
looks
like
gonna need to get the names, but I think everything should be fine. We'll roll with it for right now. Right now, we see that Mystia's Izakaya's patrons. While we don't know who's playing right now, we know that as we drag everything over, we're gonna see that they have an 11,000 point lead, and Stay actually picking up a drop here. The only person to find a drop so far in this matchup, going to give the red side about a 12,000 point advantage.
Yeah, it seems like so far it seems as if, and Wonder taking that drop, it seems like so far Mystia's Izakaya patrons has like the upper hand so far. Verdon basically carrying Wonder Yonder off of his back really nicely, hanging on to the FC so far, just getting past the halfway mark of the map, while both the players in Team saucisse like basically not too far behind, basically like having a very, very similar like sort of like scores or like sort of like performances to in comparison to patrons, as we can see, but basically just behind enough that patrons has like about 10,000 point lead, as we can see here.
Yeah, a quarter of the map left to go here, and it's basically just been about 2 to 3/10 of a percent separating both every player in this lobby at the moment, as even after that drop, Wonder Yonder still contesting that 99.7 mark and being able to recover very nicely from their drop. Same thing for Stay. It's just the overall team accuracy, the balance between them trending the way of Mystia's Izakaya's patrons, and they're going to be able to pick up this first point to make it 1-0 to start this match off.
Absolutely. So like a really strong performance from patrons, like to start this match off. Verdon on with the 992k on this hybrid map, only getting about 3 greats and just under 300 perfects. So like definitely a score to like look out for, especially knowing that both these players are very, very like capable of when it comes to late game stuff, especially. So, and especially how with this sort of map like being the sort of stuff that you see in like higher level tournaments, such as its previous feature or at least say its original feature in MWC. It's like it's definitely like something that Team saucisse has to watch out for coming into this match. And I think now they're gonna be picking, and it seems that they're going immediately for the hybrid 1 pick, which is gonna be Hatanaki, the Rice Bias hybrid. I'm kind of not sure what to feel about this pick, like knowing that they literally just played the classic hybrid map, and that it's like sort of similar in some ways, despite it being way less physical and stuff.
Yeah, definitely a bit interesting. But I mean, to be fair, they weren't too far off in terms of overall performance. It was just Verdon pulling out that 992k, being able to extend the advantage for Mystia's the red side here, and maybe just feeling their chances if they have a little bit more time to kind of recover from early accuracy drops, can maybe contest as we continue on here. And do notice that Team saucisse has 2 extra points unearned. We'll get that corrected before too long. But yes, it is currently 1-0 in favor of Mystia's Izakaya patrons. Going into Team saucisse's first pick, an opportunity for a early breakpoint for the red side. But let's see if Team saucisse can equalize here, maintain parity to continue this match, because you definitely don't want to give over that breakpoint early, especially on your own protect.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said there. And if we account... Oh, okay. And if we account for the fact that that Patrons had played this map last week as well, both Verdun and Wander, basically the same lineup as it is now, basically just got like double 989Ks. So basically just so like this being like a score like common for like a early game map, this is something that Team saucisse has to like sort of watch out for. But because of that pretty intrusive miss from Verdun earlier, that's basically like just given them the advantage for the time being. So this pick like not gonna be working out for Patrons like entirely like right off the bat, but maybe it might change like later on if either Stay or Jerem Monkey like ends up like choking at some point. This map has quite a bunch of chokeable like occurrences, like especially with some of these like really technical rice bursts and jacks, etc.
Yeah, it definitely has a couple of pitfalls. These little 1-2 anchors with these LMs can definitely get a little bit intrusive if you want to avoid bottoming out, but everybody handling it very well, as we see the balanced team score from Team saucisse this time, being able to answer back in comparison to Classic Hybrid 1, able to maintain this 8,000 point lead, but it is starting to get kind of intruded on by Mystia's Izakaya patrons, as Verdun recovering very nicely from that early drop. Picks up a 100 there, but able to kind of mitigate any potential extra score loss as we continue on, still holding on to the highest accuracy for their side, but still both players for Mystia's Izakaya patrons a 10th behind their respective Team saucisse counterparts. And with a quarter of the map left to go, I mean, it's really just coming down to, can Team saucisse maintain this level of consistency? They cannot afford to be picking up any bad judgments, but so far it has been immaculate from both of their players.
Absolutely, and like getting into this final course, this is still like maintaining the pace that the map has like already like sort of established, like going into like what you first see initially, and like just getting into this ending. I don't think there's enough time for like matters to change here, as Team saucisse just simply closes out this map. And oh, what is this? Okay, never mind. ADHD kicking in, but yeah, basically hitting all of the patterns that were in it. That was honestly like a really interesting like performance from the likes of Team saucisse coming into here.
Yeah, a great way to answer back, and answering that question of can they handle these other hybrid picks in this pool. The answer to that being very much a resounding yes. Both players above that 993k mark to answer back and find a way to, I mean, it's a reason they protected it. They were very comfortable on it, and being able to put up that performance on command is very good for their chances here, given the seed discrepancy. But I was like I mentioned earlier, it's like when you get into these easier map pools, quote unquote, you do bring in these lower seeded teams. Definitely do not discount them as we await Mystia Izakaya's patrons' second pick into this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when it comes to like early game like map pools in general, those are like basically an entire different, they're basically like an entirely different game of when it comes to like competition in this tournament. Like when you have like stuff like these sort of high level tournaments that exist out there, such as Speed of Light Free, or like just any other like tournament that has like a ton of like late game sort of stuff, you usually expect to like see like a bunch of like really technical and physical stuff, but then earlier game like level works just like simply introduce a different concept, because like it's not only about physicality but more about like just simply how well you can play accurately when it comes to certain maps. And with patrons picking out Classic Rice 1, which is going to be Hanawagen, so I think it is by Portrayer. This is like one of the really technical like Rice maps. So like I think here patrons like probably favor like some of the harder like maps in general over the early game maps, which I think Team Saucisse might like sort of favor, but that could just be me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely. Sorry about that. I actually missed most of what you were saying there. My internet decided to die for a second, so.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
if I missed anything, I do sincerely apologize. But it doesn't look like I missed the map, which would be a shame. But yeah, if I suddenly don't respond to you anymore, just assume that the wind destroyed my internet. So hopefully we don't have any more of that. But as it stands, I mean, all 4 players in this lobby staying in it for the long haul, 3 maps in, unless there's any last-second substitutions, and a very different chart in comparison to what we have seen so far. Venturing into the Rice, this is going to be our first real glimpse into how Team Saucisse is going to perform if they can match up to what we expect the scorelines that are going to come out from the red side. If they can keep it close, if they can avoid any mistakes, and even if they avoid misses, just avoid bleeding those tenths of a percent we love to talk about so much, then this could potentially be a breakpoint going their way as we get this map underway. Just hit the ground running immediately, and we'll give them all a second to kind of get settled in, get across that 400 combo cap before we really make a judgment as to who is ahead at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Patrons being like a team that has like a ton of, that has like free players very, very capable of like playing Rice-oriented maps in general. I mean, you've got the likes of Wonder Under Verdun and also Cole, who have shown time and time again and sort of like showcase like their Rice ability to like immaculate like heights. And as you can see, Jerem like taking a missed error, and so far it seems like neither Wonder or Verdun had taken a miss here, but neither has stayed. So like, as it stands currently, Wonder and Verdun having basically nearly equal accuracy, just only by a tenth behind, but Stay is basically matching Verdun's accuracy, but with Jerem falling victim to some like sort of chokes that are happening along the way with some of these like Rice bursts that just sort of exist in the map here.
Yeah, getting caught out 2 times there through that first half. Still a half the map to go, but the fact that both Wonder and Verdun being able to keep themselves above this 99.7 mark, both building in terms of their overall accuracy, there's really not much Stay can do with that solo effort. With, I mean, Jerem doing a pretty good job of recovering in their own right, 99.3 compared to that high 98 that they had a little bit earlier, but gonna need to pick up the pace a little bit. But with a third of the map left to go, there might not be that much wiggle room of what they can do on their own. They're going to need some misses to be traded back eventually. As we continue these speed streams, they're incredibly difficult to read through, but everybody making it look incredibly easy as everybody resettles back in. Even Jerem starting to contribute more with that 1000 combo, putting themselves in a position to maybe catch some scraps here. But with this last lever chart coming through, 34,000 points to the good. Mystia's Izakaya patrons looking very, very set to take this pick, as Jerem missing on air there. I think they might see the writing on the wall, but
yeah,
stuff like that happens. You hyper concentrate through some of the harder sections when things let up. That's when the drops happen. But it will be 2-1 in favor of Mystia's Izakaya patrons now, going back to Team Saucisse's pick.
Yeah, absolutely. A very strong performance from Mystia's Izakaya patrons in general. Like, both Wonder and Verdun having, like, both accumulated the 990Ks in this map, and having hardly any misjudgments either. Like, it's literally only 2 greats and 1 good from both these players, whereas, like, on the side of Team Saucisse, it's quite a bunch more. But that's probably just because of the fact that, obviously, maybe Team Saucisse is a bit more of, like, an early game powerhouse than when it comes to, like, maybe harder maps in general. Or at least, like, maps that would basically be in, like, the mid-game in general. So, now with it being Team Saucisse's pick and Mystia's Izakaya patrons being about 2 points, like, ahead as it stands now, I think Team Saucisse might want to be careful, but with that, obviously, like old classic maps have been like used, so there isn't any late game stuff there isn't any like harder maps that are left to be used except from the tiebreaker if it ends up like going in that avenue. But despite that, it seems that they're going to be opting in for picking LN2, which is the LN density pick, always just known as a lucky cat.
So continuing on here, looks like Simka going to be checking in for this pick. The first dedicated LN pick we have in this match. We've gone through 2 hybrids, we've had that 1 Rice pick, and now with a pure LN, very, very slim pickings. If you are looking to that bottom side of the map pool, you're going to see if Simka can give Jerem a bit of a boost here on this LN pick, because we know Jerem's very capable of swinging some good scores on LN charts, and with the way Wander and Verdun have been playing as a duo so far in this match, gonna need all the points they can get because they look very formidable in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with the fact that I believe that Team Saucisse had actually no, neither of the teams had played this in their previous matches. I guess I was wrong, but it seems like with this being like the LN density pick, it's like relatively slow, but because it's like at about 167 BPM, it's like relatively fast, and it has like a bunch of these like sort of like rhythms that are sort of like a bit over the place, especially accounting for the fact that this is like a sort of a Eurobeaty song in general. Like, so it definitely like checks out, and so far it seems like there hasn't been like a drop just getting past the first quarter of the map. This map is relatively short, only clocking in about like less than 2 minutes, but I think Wander had taken a drop along the way that's going to give Team Saucisse the upper hand going into this pick. So
Oh, you say that. All 4 FC still left on the board. Just that accuracy separating the 2 teams, and right now Verdun and Jerem going at it at the bottom half of the lobby. Wander and Simka having their own little bit of a scrap on the top side. Simka was winning that battle, but now Wander starting to bring themselves back into the equation here, equalizing almost within 0.05% as Verdun actually gaining the upper hand on Jerem, and it's accounting for this very slender 1,000 point lead. A quarter of the map still left to go, still all to play for. You just need a couple of 200s to go one way or the other to really start building an advantage, and it looks like they are going of the way of Mystia's Izakaya patrons. Both Simka and Jerem starting to slip up just ever so slightly, and it's not even major mistakes. It's just an accumulation of the 300 counts, 1,500 points, 2,000 at times as we make our way through the last couple of powers. Watch these last couple of releases, and 1,500 points to margin. Mystia's Izakaya patrons makes it a match point situation, getting that first break point in this match to make it 3-1.
Bruh, that was
so close.
Bro, yeah, that was literally so close, dude. Because, like, this pick could have easily gone in, like, any direction. This could have easily, like, worked out in favor of Team Saucisse, but unfortunately for them, like, with some of the misjudgments that they took, just overpowering themselves over the mistakes that even Mystia's Izakaya Patreons had made on the way, it's just only going to bring them to the match points. So, like, if they end up now their Team Saucisse is in a pretty bad position right now, especially for the fact that now like they use like a map that was probably in their best favor. So like now they're gonna like. And now with Mystia's Izakaya patrons picking out Rise too, so this is gonna be none other than Izakaya no Yugi. So like, oh no. Looking at both these teams' like performances on this one very map last week. Yeah, no, this is going to be insanely dangerous for both these players, for all the players in this lobby. I'm not gonna jinx it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we go into core jack picks, and it's one of those styles where it's very black and white. You either can play it or you can't, and score variance can go absolutely wild. You have this like clean, like double-digit 300 run and like 5 misses, or you're just spiking judgments left and right all over the place after just one like bad section. With this map being as short as it is, the room for recovery isn't that long. You have to start dialed in and stay dialed in for basically the full 1 minute 38 duration. And here we go, stay checking back in for Team Saucisse as Wander and Verdant gonna keep their stalwart positions here. 5 maps in, still going strong. Very, very formidable duo in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Wander and Verdant arguably being the powerhouse duo of Izakaya patrons, while we can see Team Saucisse having a powerhouse duo of their own. I think now this is like one of the most dangerous maps that they can all face in this map pool, especially because of the fact that in the previous matches that both these teams had, their scores and ratios were all like incredibly and dangerously similar. And I think because of the fact that some of the players like on the side of Izakaya patrons took some misjudgments, they're going to just increase the lead for Team Saucisse as we are making it past the halfway point. This is one of the shortest maps by definition in this map pool. So like any mistake is going to cost them like way too much. And if nothing ends up changing by the time this map just closes out, which it is going to be doing in just a few seconds, then this is going to spell it's going to spell some new problems for Izakaya patrons, and we can see the score like flickering against each other. Which team is it going to land on, bro? Wait.
Oh my god, we have a 4-way tie. It is 729 points.
Bro! Oh no!
For 90% of that map, it was the difference of stay being 0.03% ahead of everybody else in the lobby. For the majority of that chart, Wander, Verdant, and Jerem were all deadlocked at 99.93%. Then, towards the end, stay picking up the singular 100, the only blemish on what was an incredible run, makes the difference at the end of the day, and Mystia's Izakaya patrons manages to pull out the win there, avoiding having to go through any more maps to complicate matters. And I mean, fair play to Team Saucisse. That was about as good as they could have hoped for. Imagine a double 997k score for your team and still managing to lose. That is heartbreaking at the end of the day.
Genuinely, dude. Like, especially like when you're literally at the verge of your tournament life in an early game map pool, and you literally have to face such a high level performing team like on a very, very easy core jack map at only 130 BPM, which is like very light as well, and only losing by just like only one bad misjudgment. It's the one thing that can just break anyone's morale here. But of course, that's going to like favor Izakaya patrons at the end of the day. Stay not going to be able to stay stable enough to like just simply get the V1SS, which probably could have allowed them to win off of that 1 point. But at the end of the day, it was a really strong performance from both these teams. I definitely think that they could have gone to tiebreaker if certain things like went in a different avenue, maybe in an alternative universe mayhaps. But despite all of that, Verdant and Wander carrying the whole team all together and pulling through as they make it into the round of 32 bracket next week.
Yeah, hats off to them. Very well deserved, very hard fought. I feel like that scoreline you see 4-1, it's like, oh, okay, it was easy. No, those were some pretty close maps. But that will do it for us here. We'll be back once again in another hour and a half as we continue into this is the last match of Saturday officially, 22 UTC. It's going to be Ton 618 versus the Chen Enjoyers. So until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sparky, for commentating alongside me, and we'll catch you later. Have a great evening.